Hey everyone, it's been a while. I'm pretty deep in work these last few days, but I thought that making a new video could be an awesome way to end the week nonetheless. Following the posts last week where I asked all of you about your favorite crime systems, a lot of suggestions came up. But to be honest, none of them were too surprising. After all, not a whole lot of RPGs have a crime system. Gothic, Kenshi, Fable, Kingdom Come 2, Skyrim, Oblivion, Kingdoms of Amalur, etc. I also researched non-RPG games with crime systems to get a more thorough understanding of my direction, such as Red Dead Redemption 2 or the Hitman games. Needless to say, but I'll add, because nowadays who knows, I also finished all these games as they came out. Well, Kenshi, if you consider getting eaten by spiders in the middle of a swamp, finishing after 100 hours, and yeah. I don't want to reinvent the wheel, but I think by now all of you know that. But I still did create a system that wasn't yet done by taking elements that work and fixing those that don't. Aside from my own experiences, I've also leaned heavily on all the forums and similar places where a lot of people express their very honest opinion about the crime systems of these games, and many times those opinions lined up. The first case, I think, was the problem of how all this should be communicated to the player. We could think of hand-holding as a rough spectrum that's not one-dimensional in reality, but let's assume it is now. On one end, we'd have something very modern. On-screen timers show how much time you have left until your crime gets forgotten, or you might have a floating message that says press X to pay a fine of 500 gold and everyone will forget that you've just murdered half a village. All the while a huge minimap is showing all the cops and the law enforcement and guards with their vision cones, you know what I mean. On the other end of the spectrum, we'd have something that doesn't care about modern ergonomics as much and puts immersion to the fullest, with the risk of players not understanding what's going on. At first I almost said Gothic 2, however Gothic 2 is an example that works perfectly due to that gaminess to it. When you do a crime, the NPCs won't run straight to a Lord Andre physically, and yet he and every guard will instantly know that you did something bad in most cases. But due to having this gaminess to it, you will also always know what you did wrong, without any sort of UI indicator or similar, because the NPC's reactions are very telling. It is not without its flaws, but I'm also a bit biased because Gothic 2 is my favorite game. Anyways, I digress. The other end of the spectrum would be Kingdom Come 2. It does communicate certain aspects of the crime to players, such as whether you're actively trespassing, or people are investigating something tied to you, or you're generally wanted in town. It does work, and it does so in a relatively minimal way. However, it did make a lot of people pissed, as certain aspects of the crime system are never really explained in depth to players, which made people confused a lot of times, such as how the NPCs do their deductions. You are seen 24 hours before a crime in a certain area. A crime happens, and you think you got away with it as no one saw you sneak away, but the next day you'd still get arrested. Nothing really lets you know that, hey, it was because a random guy saw you yesterday and you're new in town, people will throw you under the bus. So, now we've established our spectrum of hand-holding in a crime system. The system of Sword Hero would definitely be around the Kingdom Come end of it. However, I had a lot of brainstorming as to how I can communicate these things properly to players without overdoing it. The first iterations I did were a bit too heavy on the hand-holding to my liking and also too obtrusive. I want to be as easy as I can on the HUD. But before going deeper into my crime system, let's go quickly through some other pain points in crime systems, which I had as well, and many others, seemingly. One, which was very prominent and brought up many times, were to make sure that only humans can be a witness. This one caused a rather big fuss when Skyrim got released and they accidentally forgot to disable this behavior for chicken NPCs, so I've made sure to do it right away. Next, we have telepathic NPCs and just overall the whole country instantly knowing that you stole a piece of bread. Many games are guilty of it, so for me it was a must to make sure that the entire witness, report, crime flow feels natural. First, an NPC needs to become what I call a potential witness. There are multiple ways for this to happen. The simplest is catching you in the act, or any other NPCs, as it's not specific only to the player. However, NPCs can also do simple deductions. For example, they are not in the same room as you. They see you enter the room, they come after you, and they see that their favorite sword is missing from the wall, or there's a fresh corpse in the room. They will know it was you. The way this is done is by spawning a crime scene at the position of the crime, and if you are seen inside one such, well, bubble, later when the crime is discovered you can be connected to it, if the potential witness is still alive, of course. Basically a simplified version of Kingdom Come 2. These crime scenes have a timer after which they are automatically dismissed if they are not noticed by anyone. Otherwise, if they are investigated by a guard who can make no connection to you, the crime will be dismissed all the same and you're in the clear. So, what will be the part that gets telegraphed? Basically a wanted level that's different in each faction. Level 1 indicates that you committed a crime but no one knows. You should get away from the crime scene and lay low until the crime gets dismissed due to no connection to anyone. Level 2 means someone connected you to a crime, either directly or indirectly, by first seeing you in the close vicinity of a crime and then noticing the crime itself, like I mentioned before. At this point, you have the option to quickly kill the witness or make them forget you some other way. If an NPC makes the connection, they will first alert the guard, and the guard can either directly approach you if you meet, or run straight for the alarm based on your reputation. Once an alarm bell gets ringed, the next levels are based on the severity of your crimes. Up until level 5, guards will prefer solving this unlucky situation peacefully. Not all guards will know right away that you are the one they are looking for, but they will try to force you to go to their office where they will search you, and if there is at least one potential witness alive, they will be brought there to confirm your crime. That is, if you accepted to go with them there in the first place, and not try to run or fight or bribe them, intimidate them, convince them, stuff like that. Punishments vary based on the severity of your crimes. There are things like simply getting beaten up, mugged, having to pay a fine, loss of reputation, prison time, which gives you prison attrition, which for a specific amount of real-time minutes it adds a small penalty for all incoming XP until it runs out, to more severe things such as having a limb chopped off, to even permanent exile from a faction. At the 6th, final level you become hunted, which means that the absolute strongest units of the faction will start to roam around the whole region, trying to find and kill you to stop your killing spree. The earliest example will be the Aslan mercenaries of Ironshire, highly skilled soldiers from a faraway land. Next week I'll still need to finish up some of these systems. For example, the actual flow of NPCs warning the guards investigating the crime scene with a special bark and animation, the dialogue tree templates, the guards searching you for items that might be stolen, the fence NPCs, the jail system itself, the prison attrition debuff. Overall, it's not a lot of stuff, but I'll need to test and plug a few holes for a few days, at least once everything's done, which might mean that I won't be able to finish update 4 before the end of June, as I also want to do one more round of bug fixing before putting the cap on it. However, I believe that the crime system is pretty much the most complicated system on the Alpha roadmap, most likely even more complicated than the stealth system as well, since that will be just injected into the current awareness system pretty much. As per the plan, update 5 will be about a much simpler prosthetics and mutations, but based on some variables I might do stealth first, to finish off these huge beasts before moving on to the easier stuff. A part of the prosthetic system is already prepared, but the special interface where you'll be installing and viewing your prosthetics and mutations is yet to be done, as well as the prosthetics technically. With Asmonza we are aiming to add all mutations and prosthetics that will be in the game in one go, so afterwards both of us can concentrate on other areas. He already prepared a great deal of the prosthetics models already. I can't show of course everything, but I need to show at least these more basic ones because I love them. We decided to steer away from the bio look for the prosthetics so we can achieve a more separated visual language for both the prosthetics and mutations, which we want to be overall look like fleshy muscle. After all, mutations would be the curse of crafting tamed, pretty much. Lastly, since we briefly talked about Akmanza's work, let's touch bases on the others as well. Tony, the awesome animator who will bring our combat animations first and foremost to life, is currently working on the base poses and directional animations first. After all, he just started working, and these are the things that will essentially serve as the foundation of the hundreds of combat animations that are coming. It'll be awesome. I can't wait to see the beginner, advanced and master movesets head to head. As for Adam, our composer, he will soon begin breathing life into the atmosphere of the world. I already prepared the first documentations for him to help him get immersed and find what Wes will sound like. I absolutely love his work. He's one of the few who can capture a similar style as the earlier works of Kairos and Kranz. I still get the goosebumps when I listen to Vista Point, but the tracks he did with direct music producer for Gothic 1 and 2 are just different. It's hard to put a finger on it. In any case, you may have already heard Adam's first demo in my latest videos, but I never showed it in full, so let's do so now. Before that, however, I'd like to thank you all for watching this devlog, and I'll try to make more in the future because I really enjoy doing it, but making these videos actually takes longer than finishing some items on my alpha roadmap. So, see you guys and have a nice weekend.